Welcome to PlatformCon. Today, I'll guide you through the typical challenges encountered when building platforms, both for newcomers and those seeking to boost existing adoption. My name is Darren. I am an EMEA Practice Solutions Lead, specializing in the application platforms at Google Cloud, and I like to talk about platform engineering. So to begin with, let's cover misalignment of platform engineering with the business objectives. The problem here is that by failing to link platform development to strategic goals, organizations risk wasting resources. They're pursuing irrelevant projects and create a platform that does not serve critical business needs. The cause is that without a coherent platform strategy, compounded by a disconnect between engineering and the business, plus a lack of executive support and siloed development, progress is severely hampered. So the solution is to align your platform strategy with the business goals and foster collaboration between engineering and business. Secure that executive sponsorship, create a dedicated platform team, and regularly review your roadmap. An example of this is when an engineer focuses on implementing cutting-edge technology without business relevance. So a scenario is when platform engineers are excited about implementing the latest cloud-native technologies, but they don't have a clear understanding of how these technologies will directly benefit the business. This creates that sort of misalignment. The business objectives might be to optimize operational efficiency or reduce infrastructure costs. So whilst these technologies can potentially achieve those goals, the engineer's focus is on the technology itself rather than the business outcomes. So the result is an increased complexity in a platform that may not deliver the expected business value. Next up is building the field of dreams, so platform building that no one actually uses. The problem here is that a platform that disregards developer needs will face low adoption. It wastes development cycles creating it and leads to returning to inefficient practices, perhaps even shadow IT. The cause is usually because without developer input or validation, enterprise architects or engineers typically invest months or longer in designing a platform based on theoretical or obsolete scenarios. The solution is to involve developers from the very beginning of the design process, conduct user interviews, gather feedback throughout the entire development process, address specific pain points, ensure that the platform solves real and current problems. Don't assume a they will come adoption mentality will actually work, right? So don't build a platform to anticipate for every single use case. Okay, I'll talk a little now about gaining leadership buy-in for platform engineering. And without this, I've seen most platform engineering initiatives fall apart. The problem here is that leadership's misunderstanding of platform engineering values leads to budget cuts, delays, team issues, impacting product launches and costs. The cause is because implementation of platform engineering has not been prioritized as a strategic initiative, stemming from a lack of understanding of its benefits. The solution is to secure strategic support by directly linking platform engineering goals to overarching business objectives. So consistently demonstrate the platform's value through measurable outcomes and present these metrics to key decision makers with tailored communication. An example is when a platform engineering team proposes automating deployments to reduce release times, but leadership doesn't see the connection to time to market improvements and rejects the proposal, causing project delays. Okay, let's talk about the next blocker to adoption beyond single service deployment. You want to avoid fragmented automation where you deploy a single service, whether it's a virtual machine or a serverless instance. As in the majority of cases, this isn't really a golden path, and it's not really a principle of platform engineering. So some people may question if you're really adding value back, and if you're really doing platform engineering. So golden paths typically encompass the entire end-to-end lifecycle, and they will do things like have security baked in into guardrails. It will provide ways to see the observability workflow through different tools, set up CI/CD application scaffolding, and other operational aspects. Basically, you don't want to do a single deployment step. You want to think about day one and day two. So as a solution, ensure that golden paths provide predefined, opinionated pathways for deployment and management that typically include, secure compute runtime, with CI/CD pipelines, integrated security scanning, observability, and so forth. Okay, the last roadblock to adoption of platform engineering that I'll mention today is over-engineering and complexity creep. So the problem is that excessive platform complexity driven by feature bloat and hard to maintain systems results in higher maintenance, higher expenses, longer development periods, and a declined developer engagement. That's not what you want. So the cause is you're basically building a platform for every potential future use case, and potentially neglecting key functionalities. It introduces a level of complexity that ultimately incurs greater long-term costs than any initial advantage. So the solution is to keep it simple, focus on core functionalities, prioritize ease of use and maintenance, and iterate based upon real user feedback. Start with a minimal viable platform and add features only as needed. Example, creating a developer platform with a vast array of golden paths for every platform consumer from day one, which many of which are rarely used, leads to user confusion, increased training overhead, and a poor user experience. So with that, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference.